The Trinitarios, a feared criminal organization that began in the New York penal system comprised of mostly Dominican members, have now been labeled by law enforcement as the most dangerous gang in Massachusetts. Let's discuss this new massive federal RICO case against the Trinitarios and the brazen violence that drew the government's attention in the first place. What's up, everyone? Welcome back. Man, it's been a minute since I've said that. I hope everyone's doing well. So, big news in the Bay State a few weeks ago, a massive federal RICO case against the feared criminal organization, the Trinitarios. The Trinitarios, which originated in the New York penal system comprised of mostly Dominican members, have spread throughout the East Coast and beyond. Massachusetts, which has one of the highest concentrations of Dominican residents in the country, has become a haven for the organization in the last few decades. Being one of the newer gangs to operate in the Commonwealth, along with their aggressive nature, has brought the Trinitarios, or the Patriots as they're called sometimes, many enemies in Massachusetts. While there are other crimes listed in this massive federal RICO indictment, the catalyst for law enforcement's heavy-handed reaction to the Trinis is the violence. Not only the violence which always attracts the authorities' attention, it's the age of the people involved. Both the perpetrators and the victims. People on both sides of the violence were as young as 18, some even younger than that age. This will always make the authorities move with haste. In all, there was 22 alleged members of the Trinitarios organization that were arrested and indicted as part of this RICO case. Along with the usual narcotics trafficking and weapons charges, there was a substantial amount of violence committed by the alleged members of the Trinitarios. In total, there was 6 actual unalivings and 11 attempts. That should be rather startling to residents of the North Shore. People don't think things like that happen around here. The main focus of this case was in Essex County, where I'm from and I've lived basically my entire life. The Trinitarios' main power bases in Essex County are in the Merrimack Valley area, like Lawrence, Haverhill, and Methuen, and then on the North Shore in Lynn, the Point neighborhood of Salem, and South Peabody. These are the two epicenters for gang culture and influence in Essex County in general. Lynn and Lawrence are the two biggest cities in Essex County and basically control the jail, which is Middleton Jail, because of the sheer numbers. Gangs run Middleton, but you know what I'm saying. Other gangs that have been in Massachusetts longer than the Trinitarios, like the GDs, Latin Kings, Bloods, Crips, TRG, etc., didn't necessarily love a new group growing in power quickly in Essex County. Some really didn't like it. So a little while ago, the authorities built a case against the Trinitarios called Operation Emerald Crush. Emerald because the gang represents with the color green. In my opinion, Operation Emerald Crush was like an introduction into the Trinitarios. I think the authorities were doing a lot of intelligence gathering, and it set the stage for this massive federal RICO case a few years later. There was no way law enforcement was going to let violent gangs continue to operate the way they have in Essex County. I've been saying it, and I'm going to keep saying it until everyone hears me and gets out of the streets. The North Shore FBI Gang Task Force is dug in so deep into the area that they know who everyone is and what they do. They're not leaving, they will only get stronger and gather more intelligence and continue to dismantle every organization that causes trouble in the region, one by one. It's over. The streets are done. The federal government just keeps getting stronger and stronger. They're throwing these federal RICO cases around like party favors. I'm not trying to do decades in prison. Are you guys? I know the world's a messed up place right now, but there's definitely a better way. I don't know exactly what it is, but there's a better way. Unfortunately, like in most cases, there'll be plenty of new faces to fill in for the gang's lost members. What's up, everybody? It's been a long time since you've had this point of view. It's nice to actually just be kind of talking to you guys. But anyways, I just want to say I am so grateful. Everybody that's part of this case is proven innocent until proven guilty. You know what I mean? This is just happened a little while ago, so nothing's really happened. It's all in the works. So I'm not trying to incriminate people or bring heat onto them. But I just want to say I am so grateful that I did not do a video about the Trinitarios a couple months ago. I was going to do an in-depth video about the beef in Lynn's. This guy was helping me, made this huge dossier of research. I think he's kind of sour at me, a little mad that I didn't make the video because he did a lot of research for it, but I just had a weird feeling in my stomach. And then I was going to use some of the research and make it like, it's just like, man, this stuff is too recent. I don't want to go in depth and talking about the actual things that happened. Maybe I'll just make like a more generalized, broader video about the Trinitarios. And then I was like, I don't know, man. It's kind of hot right now. And then this giant RICO case happened. So I'm just so grateful I didn't make that video. I mean, what would people be saying if I did that? Nothing good. You know, they already say stuff in the comments about me. You know, the subject matter that I talk about and stuff sometimes, but I do it in the most respectful way that I think I can, and I'm just trying to just report on this stuff. You know what I mean? I'm like a half-bit journalist at this point. I just want to real quick say happy birthday to my older daughter, Sadie. She turned 8 on Monday. I'm very proud of her. I can't believe she turned 8. Time's going by so quick. I promised her, and we started doing the vlog videos. I haven't been in my bedroom in a long time doing this, so I promised. She painted me a picture she wanted me to put up in the background. So it's the Boston skyline. See, it says Boston on there. So just happy birthday, Sadie. These brazen attacks that have been happening in cities like Lynn and Haverhill and the surrounding areas in the past decade isn't going to be tolerated by law enforcement. Leaders and lawmakers want Essex County to be safe and orderly so they can attract wealthy people, keep raising property values and taxes, etc., most likely aligning their own pockets. It's a different story. But they can't have this type of bad press. Multiple now, not just one, but multiple outdoor gatherings, parties, celebrations in the city of Lynn have been disrupted by attacks with deadly weapons. Almost every time, not only the targets, but innocent victims who just happened to be there were hit as well. Some survived, some didn't. This has started to affect and traumatize the community. People were afraid to go out and socialize, no one was hanging out. Even if you're not involved in the beef, you could still lose your life just for being in the wrong place at the wrong time. That has a real effect on people's psyches. One lead investigator said after a brazen attack in Lynn that left 2 men dead, and as speaking to people in the neighborhood, he said he could feel their fear and anxiety. Some police really do take this stuff personal and it sends them on a mission. This case, unlike Operation Emerald Crush, seemed like they really wanted to do some damage to the Trinitarios. We'll have to see what happens as this case unfolds. It's a pretty substantial case. They knew exactly who they were going after this time, too. They got the Supreme, which is the #1 guy in Massachusetts, his second in command as well, most of the upper management, the lieutenants. It wasn't just a bunch of low level players, it was a targeted investigation. They wanted to knock out the gang's leadership in the Commonwealth. Not only this, but apparently the authorities recovered the gang's Magna Carta as well, a written book of laws, rules, slogans, practices, etc. It's basically physical evidence proving that they're an actual criminal organization. It will help the feds prosecute their RICO case. I think this might disrupt the Trinitarios in Massachusetts and southern New Hampshire for a little bit, but it's not the end of them, not by any means. They've been building up their power base in the region and most likely will have many new fresh recruits to fill their ranks. Although they have been primarily a Dominican gang, the feds allege that the Trinis have been recruiting from Central and South American migrants into their organization. I'm not sure if this is trying to spark fear into the residents of the Commonwealth or it's actually true. A couple of the men that were indicted were from Honduras and they had to be extradited. So this, in my mind, is just a continuation of Operation Street Sweeper. When the feds built that incredible, gigantic, sprawling case a few years back, they learned so much about the North Shore's underworld. They have been spinning case after case out since that transpired. That case focused mostly on the other side of the beef, LCG and TRG, but now they're coming for the Trinis. When they come for one group, it's usually not that long after that they come for the opposition. Like last year, I think it was in February, they had that huge RICO case against Heath Street, and then in the fall, the Commonwealth came after Mission Hill and H Block. Also, you can't forget in Lynn, in between the Operation Street Sweeper and this case against the Trinitarios, there was a huge bust against the organization La Familia, which resulted in the biggest narcotic seizure in the city's history. That case was a direct result of Operation Street Sweeper. Please, guys, do yourselves and your families a favor. Don't get involved in the streets. It's a rigged game. Gangs have been on the North Shore and the Merrimack Valley for over 3 decades now, and it's not going to stop overnight. But law enforcement is certainly sending a clear message to the streets. So honestly, it's nice to be back, just talking to you guys, making a little video. Like we're not gonna stop doing the vlog stuff, like those new style videos that people like. They're still gonna come. We're still gonna do them. I just still want to be able to do videos like this, and I just need to take a little break for a little while, just from everything, a lot of stuff going on in my life. Some people know about it, some people don't. You know, I appeared like on a podcast and I was kind of out of it, and a lot of people noticing, kind of clowning me in the comments. But you know, I'm pretty transparent and honest about the things I go through and my struggles and stuff like that, and I do that to try to like help people and just to be an honest person. But I'm doing much better. Thank you everybody for like the well wishes and the positive thoughts. Like I always say, guys, make good decisions, make good choices. And I say that not to be just, like I always say, not to sound good, not just have some cool little saying at the end, because it's very important and there's like real meaning behind it. And that's all we have in our life, man. We have no control over anything else. We have no control over other people, places, things. Like, We can drive ourselves crazy. We can do things to like ruin our own lives over situations that we have no control over, no power over. You know what I mean? All we have control over is what we do, what we say, how we react to different things, and how people do things. We can't control what they do. We can control how we react to them and what we do after. So that's all we have is our decisions and our choices. That's why I say it at the end of every video. So make good decisions, make good choices, take good care of yourselves, your friends, your family, your fellow human beings. Try to have a nice day, guys. I'll talk to you real soon. God bless. I actually remembered it on the first try.